Hello YouTube, this is Prussian Prince. I'm here with Aggony Duck. Hey Duck.
Hello, everybody.
So this is A1C, which is Agony 1v1 Championship. 2012, Fall the Samurai Edition 1v1, Avatar Conquest, and basically we are in the second group stage right now, and we're gonna play the final deciding match between Agony Twitchy and Agony 1v1 Sprint. Whoever wins this match will advance to the next round in second place. So this is going to be really important match for both of them. And not only that, but this is also a team kill. It's both players are in agony. So this is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the reason why both are just fighting for the second place is that they both lost 2-1 to Jigs in their respective matches, so it's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's also gonna be a clash of styles because Sprint usually favors a fairly balanced approach based on firepower and positioning, while Twitchy tends to be a head-on rusher. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and the first map's actually going to be Kansai Wood, and it's Twitchy that chose the map as he is the designated attacker. The first game, and basically the map pool is Chugoku River, floodplain, Hopper Ridge, Kansai Wood, and Slumbering Settlement, and with a possible tiebreaker on Gunma Field. You can also not bring more than 5 of the same unit, or more than 2 missile cap, or more than 2 marines in a single game.
Yep, I mean, in talking about styles and builds, I mean, one interesting thing about these two players is that they know each other fairly well. So we might be in for some surprises in terms of
Yeah.
styles.
What would happen if Sprint uses a Twitchy build and Twitchy uses a Sprint build? That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, then it comes down to who has prepared more and trained more for that eventuality. But I think we're in for a great game here, so it's gonna be awesome.
We should
And in
hopefully
terms of
be loading into the game soonish.
yeah, and I mean, in terms of the map, I mean, Kansai Wood is a map that will, in a way, it works both for line heavy and melee heavy builds, just in terms of how you use your army, and it really comes down to positioning and, I mean, really the first movements in the game and so forth. Because I mean, if you're poorly positioned from the start, you're gonna be fighting uphill from there on. So
Yeah.
I think especially Shinobi Informer or the reconnaissance ability should be good on this map.
Okay, so it looks like the live comments feature on YouTube is bugged, as people cannot post comments. I've just been notified because of Zeript. I mean, he notified me of this, so thank you, Zeript. So in case it doesn't work, you know why it's bugged. So
Okay, looks like Sprint wants 2 more minutes to prepare.
yeah.
So Prussian, do you have any predictions?
Uh, I think 2-1 either way, but I don't know which way. I'm hoping for 2-1 at least.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be the battles are going to be really close, just due to the fact that both players are very, very good. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's really going to come down to who can achieve a better concentration of force than the other.
Yeah, and it's gonna be about mind games as well.
Yeah, I mean to a degree, of course, but
Yeah,
the other side of the puzzle is just comes down to maneuvering and positioning and getting that advantage there. And especially if you're gonna come down to a rush versus a line build, I mean it's gonna come down to whether the rush build gets enough force to break through in one sector or not.
yeah.
Because that tends to be Twitch's issue, at least. I mean, he's very frontal, which tends to leave him without any clear focal point in his attack. And while against Sprint is probably best on defense. So, but anyway, we'll see you soon.
Alright, so looks like both players are ready and we're gonna be going into game number 1 between Aggony Twitchy and Aggony 1v1 Sprint. And soon we'll be in the deployment phase and we're gonna be able to tell you which dojos are on the map. And still loading. Alright, so we have Sword Dojo and Workshop on both flanks, of course, as on this map you really only have 2 dojos, one on each flank.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that both players will favor the Sword Dojo, but that actually means that due to the fact that the Sword Dojo will probably be contested, whoever controls the workshop will have the advantage.
It's gonna be tricky to see how they split their army. Like, if they're gonna send just one unit for the workshop, or if they're gonna send 2, or how many they're gonna send, or if
Yeah.
they're just gonna send cav, or we'll see. And we are up to 30 viewers. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you
Yeah, I
enjoy.
think we're in for a nice game here, in terms of armies at least.
Hmm. Which is ready, and Sprint seems to be almost ready from what I can tell.
Yeah. You wanna go to Twitch's build when we
Yeah,
start?
I'm gonna go over Twitch's build.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Over here we have Aggony Twitchy. He's got in the front 2 Spear Levy, and then he's got on his left flank he's got United States Marines 150 and Royal Marines as well. Then in the back he's got 2 Shogitai, each with I believe 2 upgrades. Well, yeah, both have 2 upgrades. He's got a Yari Key on the right flank with 6 upgrades. Then he's also got 3 more Yari Key on his left and Revolver Cav, 2 units of those. And of course his general is actually his general is Command General, I believe.
Command gun.
Yeah. And that's it for
And
his build.
yeah, and Sprint's got 3 rank 6 Yarki on the right side here on the hill, and there are 2 rank 6 Shogunate Guard Cav as well, and on the other flank Twitch's Yarki just got pasted. But it did cost Sprint his 4th Yarki as well, I mean almost. And he's got 3 Shogitai, an Imperial Guard Infantry, and rank 5 Yarikachi. Anyway, I think the advantage here is definitely for Twitchy at the moment, just due to the positioning of the forces. Because those revolver cav and those 150 range marines are going to be really problematic for him to deal with.
And at the moment it seems like he could use the revolver cavalry to take out the Yarikachi, maybe? Like he could try at least and see if he can do it.
Yeah, and I think Sprint perhaps should really think about getting that workshop. Because at the moment Twitchy has the sword dojo, so it's gonna be really problematic. Oof! And first roll is there. Killed 3 men of the guard infantry.
And looks like all of Twitchy's cavalry from the hill are gonna be charging down onto Sprint. Now, I'm not sure about that because there's Yarikachi over there though. The revolver cavalry could take out the Yarikachi.
Will probably. Yeah. The problem is that Shogunate Guard Cav coming in though. Because it might get in among those revolver Cavs. But the revolver Cavs are doing a decent job at the moment, but they're gonna die though. And the middle engagement seems to be going Twitch's way, while the Cav battle is going for Sprint at the moment, yeah.
I think the Cav attack was a little bit too overeager of Twitchy.
Yeah, I think he needed to have his revolver Cav behind his Cav to support. But it's really gonna come down to how Twitch can utilize those Marines now. Well, those Marines and his general. And Twitch had some Cav units rally, so those might be crucial in the end game.
Yeah. And Sprint has a Shogunate Guard Cav in the back, still available.
Yeah. Yeah, those United States Marines of Twitch are doing a good job at the moment of just reducing those Cav units.
Now Twitch's general, however, is being charged by Sprint's general, so that's...
Yeah.
Twitchy needs to pop
big.
Rally if he hasn't. I'm not sure if he's popped Rally or not already.
It's gonna be a close battle though. But I think the Shogunate Guard Cav might be crucial though.
A unit is out of ammo, so I wonder if it's the Imperial Guard infantry or if it's...
Yeah, it's the revolver Cav.
Oh yeah, there's the revolver Cav.
And he's gonna use the revolver Cav to block off the Shogunate Guard Cav and tie them down, which is a very smart thing to do at this stage. And Sprint General just got pasted by the US Marines, and the Shogunate Guard Cav is being destroyed by the Royal Marines as well. I think this is gonna go Twitch's way.
Yeah. I mean, Twitchy has 2 Marines left in pretty good state, so he should be able to pull this one out.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he can stay in the forest. A sprint general will probably route that fairly soon, so.
He's got
And that
range
Shogunate Guard Cav.
advantage.
I think that Shogunate Guard Cav will route in about 1-2 losses. So.
Like, honestly, I would just be using the range advantage with those Marines instead of just running
Yeah,
into
but
range.
I think Twitchy might be a bit overconfident at the moment.
But
Which is easy to understand though.
yeah,
Because he's winning the shootout as it is, and he still has that United States Marine unit to go in. And it looks like it went to Twitchy, so good game, and let's see what happens in the next one.
alright, so extremely close game. One actually it was very contested.
Yeah, and I think Twitchy actually surprised Sprint there a bit. Because Sprint was probably expecting a full-out melee rush, but Twitch actually ended up going with a fairly well-rounded build. Although still quite melee heavy, but well-rounded though.
So for unit statistics, I can see that certainly the Shogutai did pay off. I mean, they killed 242 men, Royal Marines 169, Volver Cavalry 125 kills actually, and they did get charged. Same with the other Revolver Cav. So they did do quite a lot of damage before getting charged by the Shogunate Guard Cav. And
Yeah, I mean,
that was all in they killed Yarikachi and Shogunate Guard Cav. I don't think they touched any Spear Levy, as far as I remember.
yeah.
As for
I mean, the only issue there is where he really should have had a blocking unit there. But I mean, they did the job in the end though. But it's gonna be interesting to see how Sprint recovers from the first game. I think overall his army selection was perhaps a bit off. Because I mean, he had the one guard unit and then lots of expensive infantry and 6 strong cavalry units, which I don't know, it's a problematic build to use.
yeah, it's quite small, I would say, in terms of actual
I mean,
numbers.
it doesn't have a 150 range unit. It only has 6 cavalry. Okay, I mean 6 cavalry is a lot, but in terms of really getting a cavalry advantage, you can easily go with 7 or 8
Yeah.
if you want to dominate in cavalry.
So he's basically he doesn't he's not gonna have an advantage against someone who's like I mean he's not gonna have an advantage in he may not have an advantage in cap, he may not have an advantage in melee, and he may not have an advantage in infantry depending on what build his opponent decides to use. So like it's
Yeah,
very middle of the road sort of ish kind of build.
yeah, it's middle of the road, but at the same time it has really one big Achilles heel, and that's the fact that that army has no expendable units at
Yeah.
all. I mean, he has no spear levy, and basically all his units cost at least near 1,000 Koku each. So it's a small army filled with quality, but you use it wrong and you're gonna die.
Yeah.
But I think he had quite a lot of bad luck with the on the left flank because he sent his general and his Yariki to deal with Twitch's Yariki, but in the end his Yariki routed as well, so it was a tie. So he didn't get that workshop which he pretty much desperately needed to counteract that sword dojo of Twitchy's.
We're gonna have to see which map they're gonna pick next. Sprint's gonna be attacking.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, I probably expect Sprint to go more line heavy in the next battle.
Yeah. It's gonna
Just because it's
be.
closer to his style, and I think he was lacking a bit of firepower last game, so he's probably gonna go to a style he's very comfortable with.
Yeah.
But it
It's
remains
gonna
to be
be a little
seen
bit rough
whether.
for him to win 2 games in a row against Twitchy. It'll be a challenge. A real hard challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, but I think Twitch might have an upper hand in terms of in the mental games, so to say, because he basically just won a battle with, I mean, a fairly unorthodox build for Twitchy. So I mean, I think that's gonna sort of mess up with Sprint's expectations. So, but I think I mean, Sprint is probably best off not really expecting anything, but just going with what he usually does and is very comfortable with because his back's against the wall at the moment. And that's usually the wrong time to start experimenting with anything. I mean, overall the pressure is on Sprint now, so we're gonna see what he's made of.
Yeah. All game is all it takes. And Twitchy advances. So it's gonna be really difficult for Sprint. Maybe maybe Twitchy has an ace up his sleeve.
Yeah, well, I know Twitch has been basically preparing for his fight for 2 weeks now, so he might have a fairly clear game plan of what he's gonna do. Of course, Sprint's map selection might throw some. I mean, it might just throw him up a bit, throw him off a bit.
Yeah, I mean
Sorry.
the fact that Sprint is taking quite a long, well, not really long, but quite some time to decide on a map makes me think that it's possible that he may have not. I mean, he's doubting his choices. Like maybe he thought he would play on one map, but he's not sure anymore if that's like what he wants to do. That may be a possibility, and like he's thinking maybe
Mm,
different map could be better. I don't know.
yeah, I think he's sort of collecting and composing himself at the moment. In a way, trying to rethink the match because it's obvious that his expectations were different from the actuality here. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. and how long it's gonna take. Hmm. In a sense, though, it was smart of Twitchy to take, I mean, to take advantage of, I mean, or to attack with his cavalry, because that basically meant that Sprint's cavalry was fighting behind his army instead of his Sprint's cavalry being in an aggressive role and sort of bearing down on Twitch's flank, which again meant that Twitch's marines got more time to fire their
Yeah.
shots.
And of course, Twitchy
And he also,
had the sword dojo throughout the whole engagement, didn't
yeah,
he?
I mean that was pretty decisive. But still pretty interesting to see how quickly Twitch's cavalry crumbled there. But on the other hand, it was 3 cav, or 3 Yariki and 2 revolver cav against 5 cav, out of which 2 were shogunate guard cav and a Yarikachi. And it seems like the next map is going to be Slumbering Settlement, which I think is going to mean that Sprint will probably go with quite a bit more line this time.
Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna try the build that I used on Slumbering Sylvan. That would be hilarious to see.
I doubt that though, because
Yeah,
Sprint usually he likes to use his cavalry and he likes to be the active player in the battle, sort of picking his own fights and so forth.
that's true, but it's still a possibility. Maybe he's been preparing
It's a
something.
possibility, but I think it's a bit too of a risky of a build. I think Sprint is gonna sort of go with what he's comfortable with,
Yeah, it's
especially
much more
because the
likely.
last army was a bit out of his comfort zone in the sense that it was melee dominated. So I think we're gonna see quite a lot of line, maybe 150s, a few supporting infantry units, and something like 5 cavalry units. But it's gonna be interesting to see what Twitchy does in terms of his army. I mean, he can pretty much do anything he wants at this point because he doesn't have the same sort of pressure on him at the moment. Yeah, Appointment predicts a 17-line spam, which could be the case. Yeah, I think we have basically 2 different options for that. I mean, Twitchy might either go with a sort of I mean his usual melee heavy build, or he might actually have another surprise up his sleeve and go with a very line dominated build.
Yeah, he very rarely does a line build from what I know, but he may do it now. We'll have to see. He's one game up, but
Uh,
like he shouldn't become too overconfident.
yeah, well, I mean, he's been doing a lot of, I mean, games as of late, and from what I've talked with him, he's been preparing for sprint for a while now. So I think we might see a quite a bit more versatile Twitchy than he's not than we usually know. So
Yeah, we might see an anti-sprint Twitchy today.
yeah, although I mean the tough part there is to decipher what kind of player sprint actually is.
Yep.
I mean, the thing with Sprint is that he's usually very good at building sort of well-rounded, cost-effective builds.
Alright, so Sprint's ready. I wish I could see the funds as Spectre to see if like both have done their builds or not.
Yeah.
I also wish that like Shogun had like a little unit tab that would show you the units each player has and like the upgrades and what kind of journal it is. That would be cool and would save some time.
Yeah, that's true. But that said, Shogun is still very archaic in terms of multiplayer casting friendliness.
Yeah, maybe we'll
So,
see some kind of improvement in Rome 2. We'll probably see it.
well, I mean, there's probably going to be some improvement, but it remains to be seen if it's the right kind of improvement. And they're ready.
Right, so here we go, game number 2 between Aggony, 1 ping 1 sprint, and Aggony Twitchy, team kill on Slumbering Settlement. Sprint is the attacker, and Twitchy's gonna have to defend, but of course, if you don't really have to defend, you can still be aggressive, even if you're the defender, so you have more options available, so to speak.
Yeah, and basically, the rules are that if somebody loses all three dojos, they automatically become the attacker. So sitting back is not exactly an option. At least not a wise option. So yeah, I mean this is a map where positioning is really gonna play a huge role. So I think both players are gonna concentrate some forces on the flanks, and those are gonna be hidden from each other. So it's gonna be interesting to see how much they place on each flank. Although I think they're probably gonna gravitate towards the workshop, which is on the right, instead of the farmhouse, which is on the left. Actually, probably gonna be the sector between the shrine and the workshop, which is gonna be crucial.
So this time around, as soon as the players are ready, I'm uh, gonna be calling out Sprint's build.
By the way, actually, both players can see each other's builds. Just to point that out.
Well,
So
they're in
in
the
a
forest,
sense, we're
so
not gonna spoil neither players' builds here. So I mean, we can start saying them. I think.
yeah, like based on what they're showing to each other. So like Sprint's, he's actually got 2 Marines up in the front, and then 1, 2, 3 Shogitai vanilla behind them, and that is all he's showing right now to his opponent. And as for Twitchy, is that well, that obviously isn't his whole army.
Yeah, I mean he's got a melee build, fairly melee focused at least. So he's got some, I mean, two rank 2 Shogitais, a rank 6 Shogitai, and a rank 6 Yorikachi. But he still got that leadership general, or leadership gun general. and 2 spear levy at the front.
That's interesting, actually. Normally, you would see him bring Bushido General, but not this time.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting to see how that affects things. But I mean, that said, I think a gun leadership general is a fairly wise choice by Twitchy, just due to the merits of the firepower of the general. Although, I mean, one argument would be that he would have been better off with a Bushido gun general.
Alright, so Sprint's also ready. Probably gonna begin the game really
Yeah, I
soon.
mean, you can actually probably tell people
Yeah.
the whole of Sprint's build
Alright,
now because the game
so
started.
for Sprint, as I said, he's got 3 Shogutai and 2 Marines. Then he's got Black Tortoise up in the forest with the Yari key as well. And then on his right flank, he's got some more units, but they're actually hidden right now. So I'm not gonna say what he's got, but yeah, that's. He's also got some Yari key up in the center, rank 6. And I don't think, like I said, he has a Black Tortoise in the back. But yeah, that's all I can say right now.
Ooh, that Black Tortoise is gonna hurt Twitchy. Ouch, lost 17 men of that Yariki. And yeah, Twitchy's got most of his cavalry on the left flank. I mean, that's 4 units of Yariki, a unit of rank 7 Shogunate Guard Cav, and an Imperial Guard Cav. And he's got that melee component in the middle, which is rushing in at the moment. And he's got the shrine now. Ooh, and Twitchy got a nice charge into those. I mean, Sprint got a chance to charge into those Imperial Guard cavalry as well. So looks like the cavalry battle is slowly heading Twitch's way. Although Sprint's general is currently losing a lot of men, down to 11 men at the moment.
He's doing
And
Sprint's doing a good job pulling back with the rest of his forces because he knows that in a head-on fight, melee he's gonna lose for sure.
yeah, I mean, the problem Twitch has at the moment is that Sprint has more units in the center than he has. So Sprint can easily block some of Twitch's units, especially now that Twitchy lost his cavalry.
So I think if Sprint uses his cavalry now, well, he should be able to take this.
Yeah, especially because Sprint is gonna have that free unit of Royal Marines, which is just gonna tear those units apart. And looks like Sprint is focusing on Twitch's general now, which is decreasing rapidly in their men. I think it's actually fairly safe to say that this game is as good as over, and Twitchy agrees. He goes good game. I mean, I think what decided this game was a bit of a haphazard engagement by Twitchy on the left side. I mean, on the right side. Against Sprint's cavalry and one Black Tortoise force. Because they got some really good kills there. And seeing as the battle was as close as it was over there, it caused Twitchy the game because he needed that cavalry to win basically, because otherwise he would just be kited to death.
And apparently I just lost connection to Steam, so hopefully nothing bad's gonna come out of that. Hopefully I get reconnected to Steam quickly, or hopefully I stay in the game.
I think you're gonna connect just fine. It looks like the game was a bit more one-sided, with Sprint killing 1,040 men and Twitchy killed 709.
Yeah, not only that, but Sprint also deployed more men.
Yeah,
And I think my Steam is
yeah, I mean,
reconnecting.
yeah, and it seems like Sprint's Shogitai were the top killers, 172, and the United States Marines with 166 kills. And overall, his Shogitais and Marines did fairly good with 100 kills each.
Yeah.
While his Yariki did the job that they were supposed to, which was to get enough kills and counter Twitch's cavalry. I mean, overall, Twitch's cavalry kills are fairly poor. So, I mean, I think that's where he lost the game. I think Twitch actually had a fairly similar problem. Like, I mean, like Sprint had last game, that he had lots of expensive units. Yeah, it seems like I'm having some issues with Steam at the moment as well. Hopefully, it's just going to be a minor hiccup.
Yeah, I'm fine at the moment though.
Okay, I'm fine as well.
Yeah, I think I should be in the game. Yeah, I'm in the game. Same name, same password. And as the tiebreaker map is Gunma Field, we could see a variety of builds here as well. Let's see how things pan out on this map.
Yeah, I expect Twitchy to have a bit more firepower this time, because he's got those two Marines now available again, which he didn't have last game. So we're probably going to see more of a hybrid build from him. And I think Sprint, I think he might go with a fairly similar build to what he used now. But I think the game will be decided on who wins the cavalry fight. I think.
Yeah, that's most likely what's going to happen. Unless there is no cavalry, but that's going to be hard. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
There's like a 0.1% chance of both players bringing no cavalry.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Although it would be funny.
I mean, but both players do enjoy being the aggressor in the battle, so I think we're gonna see a fairly aggressive fight from both players. But it's gonna be interesting to see what both players bring, and I'm expecting it to be a great match. great battle.
So am I, and looks like someone else actually joined as a spectator.
Yeah, apparently he guessed the password.
So yeah, second group stage is supposed to end on Sunday, but you did mention that there might be a possible extension, right?
Yeah, I think it's likely that we're gonna have to extend the battle up. I mean, the deadline with a few days.
Yeah, because like today is Sunday, so unlikely for that group to be played out. Because like there's still at least a group from what I've seen that's not finished.
Yeah, there are quite a few groups which are lacking one or two crucial games, including my group, which is mostly due to the fact that Sokol has his friend list full, so he can't be contacted.
Still waiting for both players to finish up their builds. But yeah, I mean, they're probably gonna go still with, as you said, their usual builds with like mixed guns and well, at least sprint is probably gonna go with mixed guns and melee and 4 to 6 cav, probably 6 cav.
Hmm. Yeah, my bet is on 5 cav. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what Twitchy does. I mean, his melee rush could actually work better on this map than it would have worked on Slumbering Settlement,
Yeah,
due to the fact that the map isn't as bottlenecked. Because the big issue Twitchy had last game was that his cavalry wasn't really there to support his infantry, and his infantry couldn't support his cavalry. And with the build he had, he kind of needed that synergy between the two arms.
yeah, that's good point. And we also have a suggestion from Pointman that we should make a poll for best group and best match per group stage. What do you think about that?
Well, it's an option.
I mean, yeah, listing the groups would be easy enough, but like it would be difficult to list the actual matches because there's so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, It's hard to say which battle is the best.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because I don't think anyone has seen all of them.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one interesting battle. We've got the workshop on the right and the farmhouse on the left. So I think both sides are gonna go for the workshop.
Yep. And you can pretty much see their builds. So like,
Yeah, I think we can. I don't think we're gonna have any big effect if somebody
yeah,
stream sheets or not. I mean, if we can quite easily tell that Twitch has gone for a line-based build or line cav heavy with 250 3 Black Tortoise force and 6 cavalry units with 3 I mean 2 rank 4 Yariki and 1 rank 4 Shogunate Guard Cav, 2 rank 6 Yariki and a rank 7 Shogunate Guard Cav, and he still has that leadership general. And while Sprint has more of a melee based build with 250 range marines, 1 Imperial Guard infantry, 3 upgraded Shogitai, and 5 spear levy.
actually, I would have expected Twitchy to use Sprint's build and Sprint to use Twitchy's build, but
Yeah, and I do think Sprint has some cavalry hidden as well.
yeah.
I can't remember where and what number and type, but we'll see it eventually when Twitch Sprint decides to reveal it.
Yeah, so Sprint's got some Spear Levy in the back, then Shogitai at a bum. He's
Oh, and he
got,
has a rank 6 Yarikachi as well,
oh yeah, and then he's got
coming out of the forest.
3 Shogitai, 1 rank 3, 2 rank 3 actually, and a rank 6 one. And then in the front
Oh,
he's
and
got Imperial Guard infantry and 2 Marines, 50s of course, and I don't actually see any cav yet for Sprint at all.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the funds here, and it might actually be the case that he doesn't have any
Yeah,
cavalry. Because usually the fund that should go into cavalry is in melee infantry at the moment, with a build
yeah.
like that.
He's got a lot of expensive infantry units. And
I think it's gonna come down to, I mean, whether Twitch can use that cav of his to his advantage or not, and make use of the fact that he has 5 cavalry units.
yeah, he should really be
I
taking the farmhouse.
Yeah, he should, and I think he should also be taking advantage of that general of his because it's got a mean gun. And Twitch still has limited. I mean, Sprint has a limited amount of firepower. So, oh, and one of Sprint's marines is actually depleted.
Oh, yeah, 125 men. Didn't notice that. Ah,
Yeah, because I think he used 2 marines last game, which also explains why he doesn't have his US marines around this time. I think Twitch is doing. I mean, I think Twitch should be spreading his cav out more,
workshop's
and he
gonna
should
help
be
out
getting
Sprint.
that work farmhouse as well.
That workshop is gonna help out against that cav quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think Twitch is actually making a mistake in placing his line because I think he would really need those Black Tortoise in the same front.
Yeah, he would be able to start flanking
Yeah,
because
and he probably should move one of the Black Tortoises out wide just to make use of the extra numbers. I think we might be having a stare off here for a while because I don't think either player is willing to move frontally at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna see Twitchy start putting some pressure on the flanks soon. But he really should be using this extra time to get that farmhouse.
Yeah.
Because it would really help him kite that melee infantry off sprint.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I don't really understand why he's not doing that because like there's really no imminent threat.
Well, I think he's maybe a bit. Oh, and we got first volley here.
Yeah, really well done by
Yeah.
Twitchy, though it's quite slow reaction from Sprint. That cost him
Yeah, definitely.
24 men in that Imperial Infantry.
Yeah.
He's about to lose some of his spear levy too.
Yeah, Twitch just needs to watch out though, not push forward too much. He got some further back kills as well there, so it's gonna be good. Twitch might now be heading for that farmhouse as well. And Sprint is pushing up in the middle. Oh no, he just got some shots off with the Royal Marines against the United States Marines, killing 9 men.
Still, Twitchy is not trying to get the farmhouse.
Yeah. One thing Twitchy really needs to make sure is that he has cavalry threat from all sides. Because if he's only got his cav behind Sprint, it's gonna be fairly easy for Sprint to block off a cav attack. But if he has cavalry from all angles, I don't think Sprint can win this. But
Yeah.
and we really should be getting that farmhouse now.
And Twitchy needs to be careful with that US Marine on his right flank because there's another Marine that Sprint has and it's hidden and Twitchy forgets
Yeah, I
about
mean,
that Marine, which I don't think he will. He could get shot.
yeah, I mean, you might even get shut up by both an Imperial infantry and the Marine.
Yeah. Actually, I think that Sprint, if he moves slowly, I think that he can be in the forest and be hidden, then he can get the first volley.
And
but it
there
is
came
gonna
the
take a bit.
Imperial infantry, and it
Yeah.
got a volley off. And it's down. I mean, his Twitch's Marines are down to 129 men now, 128. So, and Twitchy didn't get the shot back. I mean, I think if Twitchy wanted to do something smart at the moment, I think he might want to use his general to skirmish.
Yeah.
Because with his gun cavalry unit, so to speak, and that will basically force Sprint to move some lines over, opening him up.
Best thing you could do is you could go on the flank, the one that doesn't really have the forest. So like, but we have more shots from Sprint into Twitchy's Black Tortoise.
Yeah. I mean that basically this is. I think this is a matter of Twitchy not being exactly familiar with the battle. Okay, it looks like Sprint might be trying a push here, which I think is fairly ill-advised though.
But he's gonna get some good shots off into the infantry de marine because he's
Yeah, maybe he really should have pushed up with his infantry de marine as well.
Yeah, that spear levy is gonna rout fairly soon.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna be able to flank the Royal Marines with that Black Tortoise if he moves it up.
And Twitchy just charged into the rear of Spear Levy. I think he did that to tie them up to get into his, get among Sprint's Marines and guards.
Yeah.
But I think that might actually be a mistake though. It might have been a bit too early for that.
You can see now that that Imperial Guard
But
infantry
he
is
did
gonna
manage
be.
to route one of the spear levies and is probably going to be able to take out that Imperial Guard infantry as well.
Yeah, he's taking
And
maybe.
his general is coming in now to get some shots as well. And on the left, Twitchy managed to route a unit of spear levy. But Twitch's sprint Shogitais are pushing up in the middle. But he's got that flanking cavalry coming in now, which should be able to deal with them. This is gonna be close though. It's really gonna come down to how Sprint can use his remaining marines.
It's very close right now, and Sprint's probably gonna try and shoot at Twitchy's general, and he gets some kills on him though.
Yeah. But I think that covering Black Tortoise force is gonna help him a lot though, because it's gonna stop that chase.
Oh, but he should be running away with that Black Tortoise, but got caught.
Yeah, he really should.
I would say that right now Sprint's got the advantage.
Yeah. I think basically what Twitchy did wrong there was that he really should have just kited. He had no reason to just stand there and continue, or hold his place. Oh, and now Twitch's general is getting massacred by Sprint's general, and I think that's gonna cost any chances Twitch had left.
Yeah, if that Black Tortoise comes back, he still has a small chance, because then he can fire the units that are chasing the United
I think
States.
that's it, because those Black Tortoise won't stay alive. It means that Sprint has an unchecked cavalry unit as well. I think what we saw here was that Twitchy wasn't really accustomed to using a line heavy build, which meant that he really didn't work the flanks as he was supposed to, or as he could have. And it also meant that he was perhaps a bit too aggressive. He should have been aggressive with his firepower, not his cavalry. Because he basically threw all his cavalry away with that charge into the back of the spear levy and so forth.
I think that spear levy ended up with like at least 40 or 50 kills, something like that.
Yeah.
An insane number.
The thing was that the charge was completely pointless, because Twitchy had the tools at his disposal to force Sprint to attack. He just didn't use them, which might come down to a bit of an inexperience in terms of utilizing line and skirmishing.
Yeah, I think what he expected is that he expected Sprint to attack him, maybe? That's what he expected, but Sprint's not gonna do that when he doesn't have cavalry. It's kind of difficult. So maybe that's why he deployed in sort of like waves formation, because he might have expected like an attack from Sprint, but
yeah, I think he probably expected Sprint to play as Twitchy would have played that, which would have probably been a very aggressive frontal push with the infantry. Melee infantry pushing, marine shooting from behind. Overall, that was a match where Twitchy had all the chances, but he just failed to use them adequately. Just looking at Twitch's marine skills, they're very high. 255 for the United States, 201 for the infantry, the marine. But his cavalry didn't do as well as it should have. And I think another thing that really bit him in the back was the fact that he didn't take the farmhouse, even though he had ample time to do so. He could have basically skirmished all day with the build he had, and he would have been able to win, but he got impatient, probably didn't really see the opportunities that were there, and lost due to being needlessly aggressive.
So it seems like Jick's gonna advance in first place, and Sprint's actually gonna be in second place in this group. Fortunately, Twitchy and God, who is the other guy? I forgot. Is it Chaos? Yeah, I think it's Chaos. Twitchy and Chaos are third and fourth respectively, so they will drop out of
Yeah.
the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, and the interesting thing is that Twitch killed more, but yeah, such a smaller army that it just didn't it just wasn't enough. He basically killed 300 more, but Sprint had around 800 more, so it just wasn't enough.
Alright, so thank you guys for watching, and thank you for commentating, Duck, and I'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Thanks for listening and watching.